We are back yet again to talk about Digimon Ghost Game. We are here for episode 2. And now going into episode 2, you kind of have a feeling of where you think it's going to go. After episode 1 was based around introducing Hero and Gammamon and giving us a little snippet of what the plot will be, you kind of feel like episode 2 is going to be like developing their relationship more and maybe getting a little bit more plot. And you also kind of have a feeling of some tropes they're going to do. Since this season seems to very consciously try to feel like season 3, you kind of assume the, hiding a pet aspect is going to be there. Gammamon's probably going to be kind of weird and goofy and do weird and goofy stuff. So you kind of assume that's what the episode's going to be like. Interestingly enough, though, it seems like they actively tried to avoid doing some of those cliches. Now, don't get me wrong, the main point of the episode was for Hero and Gammamon to, bond and get to know each other. Considering how Adventure 2020 went, I consider this a breath of fresh air. Actually seeing the two, have scenes together and just talk to each other and do things together. Things the last one did not give a shit about. But yeah, so anyways, let's kind of go over this. We also got no plot, but I was fine with that. So where we begin with showing off our bad guy of the episode is Mummymon, a very popular Digimon from Season 2. He has kidnapped a guy. He walks up to, this exhausted, worn-out dude and ties him up, wraps him up, and brings him back to his lair. I've seen enough hentai to know where this is going. But yeah, no, then we get the opening credits, and then we wake up to Hero. Hero's waking up, and we see that there's just, this giant, tarped-over hole in the wall. I don't know why, that was kind of funny to me. So they at least acknowledge the damage caused by said Gammamon. So anyways, he wakes up. Gammamon is biting his leg because he's hungry. One thing I do appreciate, though, is, and a lot of people point this out, Gammamon's voice is very baby, very toddler-like. And sometimes when they do this in anime, they don't really do anything with it. It's just that's just how he talks. And while that's obviously a part of it, I do kind of like the fact that Gammamon basically being a toddler is the character. You see the way he talks, the way he moves, the way he's act. He is very clearly meant to be, mind of a 4 or 3-year-old. Which I actually think could be kind of fun. I like all the scenes of Hero doing stuff like writing down what does he mean when he says this? What does he mean when he's doing that? That's actually very good, and I quite enjoyed that. Then you've got, Hero's got to figure out how to get Gammamon some food, so he sneaks some food from the cafeteria, and then, of course, Gammamon wants more food, and where I kind of thought this was going was Hero was going to leave, and then Gammamon would sneak out, right? This is like Season 3. A big aspect of Season 3 is, hiding a pet, only it's a pet that can kill things. But no, Hero just kind of goes to Gammamon, can you open this door? And I don't know why, something was really funny. Gammamon just, has wings, just comes out of nowhere, flies and opens the door. But what's smart about this scene is Hero was then can't leave him alone. They actively, took a cliche and, just showed you they're not doing it. That is a great way to separate yourselves from shows similar to this. So then, they go out, go to a grocery store, get more food, and again, what I just like is, it's just character. It's just scenes of them hanging out, interacting, getting to know each other. Like I said, Hero makes note of all of Gammamon's little tics and quirks and things, and all that is just such better character development than what we were getting literally 3 weeks ago. So then Hero and Gammamon, they return to the school where we find out the window's just already been fixed, all taken care of, whatever. The one little thing that did bug me, though, was in the next scene. He buys a magazine at the grocery store that tells him about the mummies and stuff. We'll get more to that in a minute. I just want to do this first. So the one thing that bugged me about this episode was when he's leaving, and we get a little clip with the other boy, Tamer, and it's just kind of a whatever, he's superstitious joke. Then we get the friend from last week. He's out of the hospital. He's free. He's safe. It's only been a day, because what was it? This was just yesterday? The kid comes back, and that's it. He does not seem to be traumatized, or even remember the fact that an evil Digimon turned him into an old man. He just sort of, if I'm correct, he saw Gamamon and just thought he was a cute hologram or something. I don't know, that always just kind of annoys me. Like, why make a point of introducing him last week if he's not going to do anything? This could either go two routes. Either one, they'll just forget about him in 5 episodes, or two, he's going to become more important later, sort of like, again, in Season 3, where basically everyone became a tamer by the end. Hard to say, but yeah, it's just kind of a whatever thing. But yeah, no, so, and then we get into the main plot of this episode. And that is that while reading a magazine, Hiro hears rumors that there's a mummy ghost at the museum, which he then takes to suspect that it's a Digimon. Great. Good. I like this. I unironically like this. What I like is so many shows like this, and I bring this up whenever it happens, I hate it when characters don't have forward momentum, when their actions aren't directly what's moving the story forward, when they just let things happen to them. That's not what's going on here. Hiro wants to figure out what happened to his dad and what the deal with Gamamon is. He hears something that could be a Digimon, so boom, he goes for it. He could have ignored it and nothing would ever happen and people would just keep getting kidnapped. But no, he's like, I'm gonna go figure this out, I'm gonna solve this mystery, and I'm gonna do it. All that is just such good shit that I personally really like. Meantime, we see that Mummymon now goes after a woman who is feeling stressed and wants to quit her job, but as soon as she feels like she can be freed from capitalism, the Japanese economic system is like, no, you either believe in capitalism or you get tied up. Once again, I've seen enough hentai to know where this is going. But yeah, so he kidnaps this chick, and then Hiro sneaks into the museum. We also get a glimpse of the girl tamer who is also trying to solve the mystery, but more kind of like goofy, normal kid way. We'll see more about her next week. But yeah, so then Hiro and Gamamon, they wait for the museum to close. We, of course, get Gamamon wrapping himself in toilet paper because they really want you to think Gamamon is cute, which he is. So yeah, then him and Gamamon then sneak into the museum. I like the little trick that Gamamon can use Digimon powers to open the door. That's a fine little touch we've never gotten before, I think, and I like little stuff like that. So then he gets into the main museum, where Mummymon shows up. Interesting that Digimon aren't fully solidified. I'm curious to see if that'll be like a reason or if they'll just forget about it, but it's interesting. So then Mummymon shows up, and I like that Hiro just directly asks him, like, where's my dad? What's a Digimon? Where's the digital world? Also, I like that at the beginning, he asked Gamamon stuff, and Gamamon again just showed off that he's like a toddler and doesn't really know anything. So that's also good. Yeah. And so then Mummymon is all like, I'm here to help the sick and the stressed, and I'm gonna tie you up, and y'all know where this hentai's going. And so he takes Hiro, and we find out he's just kidnapped a bunch of people, and the people are like, please, I don't want to die, what's gonna happen to me? It's really kind of fucked up, and I dig it. Yeah, so then Hiro's got Gamamon shows up, and of course, naturally, he frees Hiro. And during the fight, he digivolves into one of his, 3 champion forms. The red one, who I assume will be the one we'll see the most, because, red. And then they don't beat Mummymon. This was a little kind of weird. I'm not against it, but it was kind of different. But so, the red one, I forget its name, shows up. It doesn't beat Mummymon, but, weakens him enough. So Hiro is then able to explain that, no, mummification isn't a thing for healing the sick or helping people. It was a thing the Egyptians believed would move you onto the afterlife, that kind of thing. So, and then Mummymon just stops. And that's it. It turns out, no, he's like a doctor or wants to at least help or heal people. And he thought this is how you do it. And then he's like, I'm going to go to a hospital and examine real doctors so I can figure out how to help people. And everyone's free, and presumably nothing else bad is going to happen. And all that is over. Yeah, it's just kind of, it's different. It like everything else, it actively feels like it's trying to be different. But at the same time, you're kind of like, first champion level, you expect a really cool fight. It lasts 5 seconds, and it turns out this was all a weird misunderstanding about being a doctor. I don't know, it's just kind of weird. And also, does this mean this guy's going to come back? They didn't kill Clockmon last week. Is Clockmon going to come back? Is he going to have a redemption arc? I don't know, it opens the doors to some things I'm not quite sure what to expect. I'm not saying it's a bad thing, but it's different, and we'll see where this goes. But that was Ghost Game Episode 2, the one where I made that hentai joke way too much. But what did you think? In the comment section below, give me your thoughts on this episode. Are you excited for whatever new direction they go, or do you kind of hope we get some like legit fights as we go? And as always, click to like, click to subscribe, and join me next week where the Girl Tamer makes her debut.